Senator.
Okay.
I will be presenting information. Yes, and I will try to see if I can do the student complaint process. I'll do that because that's what the students. Okay, so once they give us the cues, so you need to go assume your position. So maybe you might sit between them for now and just to, and then.
I think we're already live.
Yes, I think we are live. That's what I'm saying. Hello.
Okay. It's live?
Yeah.
Oh, you able to tell who's
Hello.
on or no?
Hello. I'm trying to see if this working.
Good evening. My name is Ai Carbo, and I'm SGA's student senator for online affairs. Today, we will be doing a town hall for online students, and so if you have any questions, please write them in the comment section. We will have speakers coming in to talk about violence and violence prevention. We'll be talking about student conduct and how the complaint process works. Today, right here, we have Dr. Joya Chilton
Hello.
and Miss Tia Johnson.
Hello.
Okay. So, yeah, did I already mention that you should write questions in the comment section? Okay. All right.
Hello, everyone. We thank you for allowing us to have this opportunity. Again, my name is Tia Johnson, and we have Dr. Joya Shelton with us from the Wellness Center. Within the Wellness Center, we have the Violence Prevention Center, as well as the counseling services and our nursing departments. Well, excuse me, our nursing services. Within that, we talk about the 8 dimensions of wellness. We also talk about domestic violence, sexual assault, as well as dating violence and all those lesser included crimes that come within that regarding intimate partner violence as well as stalking. But then most importantly, we offer services to the students regarding counseling, whether if you're stressed, if you're dealing with anxiety, it could be with school, it could be with life. You know, you have work, you go to school, and you're trying to stay on top of your grades. As well as we speak with individuals that deal with behavioral health and mental health issues. All the services that we provide are free, as well as confidential. So you can feel that you are in not just in a safe space, but in a gray space. Everything is very neutral when we speak of issues and situations of this nature.
Absolutely. Maybe we could move on with the slides. Yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to move to, I think today we're going to be talking a little bit about TAO as well, and the next slide as well. So as Tia said, we're at the Wellness Center. We work on all 8 dimensions of wellness, and we do that through a number of different ways. One of the really great opportunities that we have for online students in particular is the TAO program, which I'll get to in just a second. Next, though, I thought Tia could tell us a little bit more about the Violence Prevention Center.
Yeah, so the Violence Prevention Center, we provide education, information, as well as services. We do have resources where we work with our community outside partners, where we work with the Family Justice Center, with the Prince George's Hospital Domestic Violence and Sexual Assault Center, as well as the courthouse, where we work with the state attorney's office, sheriff's office, as well as local law enforcement, Prince George's Police Department. But those are just our community partners. We have so many services and a wealth of knowledge here at Prince George's Community College, where these services are not just provided in-house, but actually online for you. We definitely have Skype capabilities when we deal with counseling, and Dr. Shelton will go more into that. But the Violence Prevention Center, we mainly work with victims and survivors. We call our victim survivors because if they're willing to come forward just to get some information or just to take those next steps, we want to uplift them. We want them to know that they're not just a victim to the situation, the circumstances that they're going through, but that they are survivors because they are willing to take those next steps. So we also provide victim advocacy within the Violence Prevention Center. And if we can't do anything in-house, we do go out to our community partners where all of that information as well is confidential. So it stays between you and the person you want to go forward. We also speak about bystander intervention and education of how to bring awareness to these type of crimes. We talk about consent, dating violence, which is a big thing that's going on with students as well as individuals of all ages. We look at intimate partner violence, whether you're actually in a physical relationship or have a child in common with the abuser or with your partner. And then we look at sexual assault and sexual violence, which you hear everything about the Me Too movement. You heard about the conviction with Bill Cosby, and you hear about the Weinstein Corporation, of how sexual assault and sexual harassment is becoming really relevant in today's society when every time you hear the turn on the TV, as well as when you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook or any other social media platforms. So that's what we offer at the Violence Prevention Center, and I am the program coordinator for that. So I will be the one who would direct you either to myself or Dr. Shilton or even any of our trauma therapists that we have here at the college.
And Ms. Johnson, don't we also have resources for people who are experiencing cyberbullying, right?
Absolutely,
Online.
absolutely, because
Yeah.
stalking is just not in person. We talk about cyber stalking and cyberbullying, because social media and technology is so big now that, people can stalk you, can bully you, can harm you through digital ways as well as through our social media as well as GPS tracking.
Yeah. So, so Tia's role is mostly with the Violence Prevention Center, and we're very lucky to have her coordinating services there. And my role is to provide some more direct service as a counselor in general for not just people experiencing violence, but any kind of challenges that happen. It's as we said, it's a great resource that PGC offers the students, free short-term counseling. It's awesome, You don't have to be in dire distress to come in. You could just be somebody who needs a little bit of support. Maybe you're experiencing some extra challenges at home. Maybe you've had a loss in your family. Maybe you've moved here from somewhere else and are just having a little bit of trouble getting your feet under you. Whatever the circumstances, you can come see me and have some of this great solution-focused, brief, short-term therapy. We focus on resources that you already have, strengths that you can discover in yourself. My background is also as an art therapist, so I help people do art therapy, which is just making any kind of simple drawings or paintings to express yourself as a mode of therapy. It's not a class, you don't get graded on them. The point is just to work out your feelings and use, sometimes we don't even have words for what's going on with us, so we can use the arts to express, what's happening. So it's open to all enrolled students, and a lot of times people come to me dealing with depression or anxiety. Often it's a number of things at once, trying to the challenges of becoming an adult and still living at home, or sometimes there's just a lot of academic stress and so people come in. And a great online resource we also have is something called TAO, which stands for Therapist Assisted Online, and for free you can go and access this service. It's on the PGCC website under the Counseling Services page. You can find a direct link, or you can see here, you just go to thepath.taoconnect.org, and with your PGCC email. You can log in there and get access to all kinds of really great little videos, information on managing anxiety and depression, stress management, mindfulness skills, learning how to breathe, building moments of calm into your day, and problem solving. They have a nice unit on interpersonal, dealing with other people, relationships. And again, it's licensed to us. It's a program that they designed, came out of the University of Florida for students. So it's brief videos, like less than 5 minutes. You can watch them from anywhere on your phone or whatever at home. And or another thing that you can do is come in and meet with me, and I can sign you up for sort of an individualized menu of particular videos that would just fit your needs. And then we could do video conferencing, which is like Skype or FaceTime. You're probably familiar. If you're on this web program, you probably know about that. But they use one called Zoom, and it's particularly HIPAA compliant end-to-end. The security is very high on it, and so I do video conferencing sessions, and that way we don't have to be in the same room. You can be wherever you are. It can be a short session from your phone, 15 minutes in the parking lot during your lunch hour, and I can be here on campus. You don't have to come in, and we can still meet and work on whatever's going on for you.
Yeah, and Dr. Shelton, just for the students to know that Zoom, I know I've used it before as through meetings with other organizations. It's a free app for your phone, so you don't have to worry about paying for it.
Yeah.
It's free to you, just as the services are free to you as well.
Yeah, and so I just send an email, and then you click on it. It's the easiest thing.
Yeah.
So that's what TAO is, and just remember just to sign up for these services whenever you're experiencing feeling just overwhelmed, feeling like you might harm yourself or others, feeling out of touch with reality, feeling very depressed or anxious, any of these things, feeling confused a lot of times. If you feel like you're using more drugs and alcohol than you normally would, and it's healthy for you. If you feel just suddenly missing a lot of classes or not doing well in school, or if you need to disclose any trauma or abuse. So those are great times to come to counseling. So what you need to know, like you can just call these phone numbers. You can come over and to Bladen Hall 122 and walk in and ask me to make an appointment with the counselor, and I'm there. You can call, like I said, these 301-546-0149. That's the counseling phone number. I'll pick up, or I'll get your message. You can email me at counselingservices@pgcc.edu. So there's lots of ways to get in touch. In case of emergency, obviously we want you to call campus police or 911. So we're gonna move forward here. Thank you. Oh, look, we got some water. Thank you.
Yes.
Terrific.
And I hope you're drinking your water too as well.
Yeah,
It's an
yeah.
important part of your wellness as we're talking about the Wellness Center and what's healthy and the services for you.
Yeah. So let's just leave this. We can move actually ahead a little bit. Sometimes we talk about the Adverse Childhood Experience Questionnaire, which just and we can skip to the next couple slides. But a lot of people have experienced childhood trauma, and this affects learning. So it's a challenge. Sometimes this is a great slide to stop at. This is kind of to recognize sometimes when we've experienced any kind of childhood trauma, like disruptions in the home, or drug and alcohol use in the home, or any kind of loss or violence. As a young child, then when we're adults, sometimes it's really hard to regulate our behavior. And so some tips for handling this is to just know that if you see someone kind of in that survival mode, to be calm and kind, to create easy transitions, and also to adopt a mindfulness practice. So this means just noticing in the moment what you're thinking, what you're feeling. I often teach the belly breathing, which is instead of breathing from the chest, like way up here, have a deep breath where your belly goes out. Actually, it's like the opposite of what we're usually told to do. You're usually told to like suck right in your belly, but we actually want to use that muscle. It's called the diaphragm muscle. It connects where your lungs stop and your stomach starts. And so we use that muscle to do some deeper breathing, and that can help calm us down when we're feeling stressed out.
And just to add, trauma is you could say it's a norm. Everyone goes through trauma. You think about, for an example, if you've ever been in a car accident before, so sometimes if you feel like someone cuts in front of you that you might have an accident, you might have that trauma. You might jump because of that fear of you being in another car accident. And it's the same thing. Just because someone might have gone through something in their childhood and home, it can affect them later on in life. It may not affect them right then and there. We also see that in cases where we have victims, survivors that come into the Violence Prevention Center. A crime that could happen, let's say 5-10 years ago, can affect them later on in life. And those are some of the triggers that happen with trauma. But that's what the services that we have here is to work through them, helping with breathing, help them through art therapy, and just talking through it, but speaking regarding what's on the best terms for you as the student.
Yeah. So let me just pause here. Is there any questions that have come in from our community, or any? A question I sometimes get is just what to expect in counseling. Expect to meet with somebody who is a trained professional. Our counselors here have additional education on how to work with people. There's the licensure. I'm licensed in the state of Maryland as an art therapist. We have other licensed professionals. And know that it's confidential, that information that you've met with somebody isn't going to get back to your teachers. And that's important. Another thing to know is, and I think we can skip forward to the slide that looks like this. Yeah? Yeah. Wait, now we've got some no slides. Oh, well. Okay. We're not going to do that one.
Nope, it should be the one that says one more time.
One more time. What?
Talking about PGCC first.
That's okay.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah. So we do want to just remind people about the levels of confidentiality. I mean, for one thing, all of the people that you will deal with who are on the staff at PGCC take your information very seriously. We don't release it. There's federal laws that mandate that your information is held very carefully. Your address, telephone number, that's not getting out to anybody else with that. So we want you to know that it helps to know that it is really a safe place to come forward.
Absolutely. We're in certain cases are bound by confidentiality, that we're not allowed to give out that information. When you are ready to disclose and want to give out, talk further regarding any other information, that we do have waivers, or we can sign a waiver stating that you are ready to go take those next steps. Let's say if it's something in my case and in a crime and you're ready to talk to law enforcement, I cannot make you speak with law enforcement. That's something when you're ready to do, but we are here to assist you and walk you through those steps of allowing you and helping you to speak with law enforcement, whether it's campus police or with our local law enforcement agencies, where we'll ask you, regarding, are you ready? Is it okay for me to share the information that you have told me to take those next steps, as well as information that we have with our community partners going that way. I can refer you there, but I just want to make sure that it is safe as well as a great space for you to speak with those community partners without going through confidential, like letting your information out. The only time that we have that confidentiality goes out the window is when something has to do with child neglect. Those are the cases, or some type of elder abuse. Other than that, we have to stay confidential with everything else, because we're bound by law. We're bound by, you know, some of us are by the license, the oath that they took when they received a certain degree, as well as the licenses that they received as being a therapist and a counselor. So those are the things, and to ensure that we can continue to do our work, we have to ensure that we are bound in doing what is right by the law and for right by the students as well.
And when you come in, if you come in to see a counselor, they'll go over all this in detail.
Yes.
You know, so that you'll know exactly,
Yes.
you know, what the limits of confidentiality are. But just know, in general, there's no reason for any of your records, they never get associated with your academic records.
Yes. And then we look at Title IX, and because we already spoke about confidentiality, we talk about Title IX in discrimination. We have 2 Title IX coordinators, one where it's you as a student and with another student, or you as a student with against someone, faculty and staff. You have a right to speak with the Title IX coordinator regarding situation of something that's being unfair, you being discriminated. It could be something of sexual harassment that's going on. But also feel free, you can always come to the Wellness Center, the Violence Prevention Center, as well as counseling services to find out exactly what are your rights before speaking to everyone, because some entities have full confidential, some have limited confidential, and some have none. Most of them that do not have any confidentiality are our law enforcement and campus police.
Yeah. So, and again, you can find more information about this on our website, the Violence Prevention Center's website. I think maybe our last slide.
Yes.
How do they get to the violence prevention website?
So if you're on the PGCC website, if you're on the main page, there'll be a section that's called Student Support Services,
Yes.
I believe. And then you go there, and then there's a number of different websites that are under the Wellness Center. You'll see Counseling Services has its own page, and that's how you can get to the TAL videos. And then there's the Violence Prevention Services has its own page also, and you can get more information about, you know, if you want to come forward and get some support around any kind of violence, being a survivor of any kind of violence. So they're all on the website, but it does take a couple clicks to get through. So, and then just to finish up, I just want to say thanks so much for giving us the opportunity to be here today and to share this information with you. We are with you, even though it might feel like you're by yourself because you're studying at home. We want you to know that we're here for you, and we want to be a support, an advocate, and a friendly ear if you have any troubles or need some just a little bit of support. I happen to run a weekly wellness workshop on Wednesdays. That's here at in Bladen Hall 132 on every Wednesday at we're doing it at 2 o'clock. So that's available to you if you ever want to come. Just shoot me an email, let me know, and that's open to anyone.
Yeah. And then Dr. Shilton also has counseling services every other Monday at the UTC, University Town Center location.
That's right.
Just in case if you're near that area,
Yeah.
and you want to, just please feel free to call the number which we have regarding counseling services as well as violence prevention. Because the thing is, we want to make sure services are there for you, where you don't always have to come to the services. Let the services come to you. And that's why you have Zoom. you have those type of capabilities where, just like how we're doing it now, you're live now, we can be live with you in person, as well as if we need to meet you at one of the extension centers, if that's easier for you, we can do that as well.
Yeah.
We are here for you, we work for you, and we want the best for you as a student.
Yeah. Did you have any other questions that
Yes.
came in? Oh, great.
So, do you have any advice for preventing being stalked online?
Yes. So the question is, do I have any advice for being stalked online? Watch your cell phones. This is one of the things. Of course, and I have mine right here. Everyone has a cell phone. I have an iPhone. Watch when you put your locations on. Watch the settings that you have on your social media accounts. Are you sharing your posts with the world? Are you sharing it with your friends? Who can view your photos? Go to your settings and look at those settings, and make sure you read the privacy acts that each social media website puts out. Also, GPS. Be mindful. If you're not using the app, take your location off. I tell my family and my friends generally, go to the settings app. Go to the general area and look at each app that you use and see how it's running. Is it on all the time? Is it on only while in use? Or is it not on? If it's something that you don't use rarely, you can turn it off. Those that you use frequently, just use it while in use. Have your location and stuff to use while in use, like GPS. You're driving, you need to know where to go. You're only going to have it on while you're in use. Once you're done, don't just close your phone. Make sure you slide that app up or try to cut it off. That way, no one can track where you are, because cell phones, any technology device, pings off of cell towers. And if someone can get into a system and find out exactly where your phone is working and pinging as well while you're even talking and texting, that's putting your location of where you are. So that's another thing we could talk about that. But then also be mindful of the information you share, what you're putting up, and just choose your friends wisely on social media as well, because that's a big thing. You choose your friends in general, in closeness. You're picking good friends that are pouring into you and not taking out of you. Do the same thing for social media as well.
Mm-hmm. And both Ms. Johnson and I have done workshops on healthy relationships.
Yes.
And thinking of relationships as on a continuum, but that healthy relationships should have, elements of trust and safety and good communication, and also to be able to have boundaries between you and the other person. It's okay to have alone time. Other people don't need to know where you are every second of the day.
Yeah.
Everybody who's a student here, most people are over 18, and so as adults, you have that right. And if you have some concerns about how you're being treated in a relationship, if you don't feel safe, please come and see us. That's what we're here for.
Please do. And then when we say relationships, don't just think it's partners or your spouse or boyfriend or girlfriend. We're even talking about family and friendships, because relationships can spread far and wide. So, please come talk to us.
Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to ask, what do you do in cases of cyberbullying?
Well, it would depend really on what the person wanted to have to do in cases of cyberbullying. I mean, first of all, the first thing I would say would be to manage issues around safety. Basic safety would come first.
Yeah.
But then they could decide what they need to do next. Yeah.
And also, if it goes too far, depending on what it like Dr. Shelton said, it's depending on the person. One thing, if it does go too far, we do look at getting campus police or local law enforcement involved, just because it's an investigation, because it's a use of a technology that they have to find out exactly who's actually using it. Like when I mentioned earlier, how phones ping off of satellite towers as well as the phone towers as we're driving by. They have to find out what IP address is that coming from. what telephone that's coming from, what area is it coming from to pinpoint. So we definitely look at that. And then they also look at continuing course of conduct, like how many times are these cyber bullies coming in? How many times are they contacting you? Is it frequent? Is it like every now and then? And what is the content? But it's just best just to be careful what you're posting, but also letting people know. Be informed. If you're not really ready to tell law enforcement, let a friend know, let a family know. It's just very important that they know what's going on, because we don't want to keep anything in the dark just in case something does happen. We want to know, well, that person was receiving something that was suspicious or not of character of what they normally receive.
No more questions. Okay. Okay. So, Ms. McIntosh is going to give you an announcement. Um,
So good evening, everyone. I want to thank our presenters from our Wellness Center and the Violence Prevention Center here on campus. I'd like to thank SGA for hosting this first online town hall for online students. I hope you learned something this afternoon. My name is Paulette McIntosh, and I serve as the advisor for the Student Governance Association. That's the governing body that's here to be a voice for you, the students. I did want to make some announcements so that you can be aware of some upcoming events that are open to students, both those who come face-to-face for classes and online students. Tomorrow, if you are available and you have a nice red carpet affair, Hollywood outfit to wear, please join us on the main campus from 6 to 10 p.m. It's our annual spring formal that's organized by your campus activities board. And guess what? It's free. So come and join us if you don't have anything planned for tomorrow, May 2nd, to join us for this annual spring formal. We'll be here on the main campus, the Largo Student Center, in the on the second floor. Includes dinner, DJ, party favors, so please join us. It's free of charge. And then also on Thursday, May 3rd, there's a 5K run for a cause that's here on campus to raise money for PGCC Care. That's an organization on campus that provide aid to students in need. And so if you have time, join us. It's $5 if you wear your own T-shirt, or you can pay $10. You'll get food and a T-shirt to run in a 5K color run from 1 to, I would say, 2:30 p.m. on Novak Fieldhouse. And then they'll have a culminating celebratory party in the quad outside of the Largo Student Center. So please join us and make a difference. The next online town hall for online students will address issues having to do with academic complaints that you may have in terms of instructors, how to handle if you're not happy with your grades or feel that your grades not fair, what's the process, what are your rights as a student in the classroom. And so stay tuned, and we hope to see you next time.